At the state capitol, the debate over gun control and juvenile crime laws is once again in the spotlight after a marathon public hearing that ran until 2 o'clock this morning.
People had the chance to speak on several different proposed bills from both sides of the aisle. Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro has a recap.
12 bills were up for discussion yesterday before the Judiciary Committee. So as you can imagine, that meant lots of different viewpoints and approaches were offered in tackling these issues of gun violence and juvenile crime, including car thefts. Now, these are issues towns and cities have been struggling to address. Take a look right there. You probably remember this. This was from New Britain last June, showing a deadly hit and run. Police say a 17-year-old boy who had a long history of arrests was driving a stolen car and hit and killed a 53-year-old jogger. And more recently, there was this, when a 15-year-old boy stole a car in Manchester with a 1-year-old still in the back seat. Now, one of those proposals up for discussion yesterday was the Republican Juvenile Crime Reform Bill. That is Senate Bill 365. That bill includes support for community programs focused on trauma and mentorship, expanding those automatically transferred to adult court, including serious juvenile offenders. That's a part that critics strongly oppose, and this would also require next day court as well.
This would allow an assessment of the youth and the beginning of the provision of support services, an assessment of maybe not going to school, activities in the home and things like that. We have next day arraignments for domestic violence matters.
The only caution I would say about next day arraignment beyond the children who are already detained for public safety reasons is whether that creates an insurmountable burden for some families. We know that low-income children are disproportionately involved in the justice system. So I think setting a goal for timely arraignment but being careful about who needs to be there for next day arraignment is what I would recommend.
And as we look at some of the numbers driving these bills, crime data from the FBI does show a rise in homicides and car thefts in 2020, which was a trend across the country, but there was a slight decrease in all violent crime in our state that year as well, and we are still waiting on that data from last year. Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61 News.